Hello everyone, this is QuantumSync here, and today we're going to be looking at something known as an entity relationship diagram. Right now you're only looking at a piece of it, but once we zoom out, you can start to see the scope of things here. And I mean, it's a lot of nodes, far more complex than the last diagram that we looked at, but make no mistake, this is an entirely different kind of diagram, and that can be seen just at looks. But right now, the main thing that you want to take a look at is how components start to relate to each other and what these components have that can be attributed to them. And sometimes you'll have those attributes connect to another. Those are the main things that you'll want to look at here. And you'll also want to pay attention, of course, to how much of one connection is related to another connection. For instance, you'll have this simple connection here with one to many, which is represented by 1 to n. You'll have one hospital contain many patients. And so how are we going to simply map that out in terms of a database? That's what you're going to start wanting to look at when you make an entity relationship diagram. And this is nothing like a flowchart where you're looking from beginning to an end. You just simply want to keep mapping out connections, seeing where each takes you, and starting to realize what can I put together to form this database and make sure that everything is relational. And that is sort of the heart of SQL that you're going to want to start looking at. So let's take, for instance, the primary key of the hospital ID. Again, the hospital ID is simply just a unique identifier, and that's for something to create that primary key. You want to have a unique identifier so that you can simply take a look at the ID and know, okay, well, that's that one unique hospital, and if a patient has that in their attributes as well inside of a table, then you can say, okay, well, then they're in that one hospital, and their patient information is there, and you'll be able to understand that once this is here, you can also recognize the information from all this is here as well. So that creates that establishing connection, and you'll recognize this as simply a foreign key, which again is mainly to intend to just create that connection that you can see, and it just links those tables in a way that will give you the information. Now, with other relationships, again, it's simply possible to have many other connections. Again, you'll have, say, a location of the hospital would be a certain city or a town, and that will determine your access to, whichever hospital. And one hospital can only really be attributed to one location, so you'll have a one-to-one relationship here. There's many other entities to talk about here, but that's the main gist of what you're going to look at here. Several attributes can be put into one entity, and you're going to want to find both connections between the other entities with those attributes, but you also need that unique information with those attributes to have an entity there that is meaningful